So there's lots of exciting news. We've got the results from March, and we thought we'd share them with you. And there's lots of interesting things on the horizon, and we're curious about what will happen. But let's look back. This first chart we have here, this first slide, is a 6-month overview of what's happened. And right now we're following kind of typical trends where we've had an increase in sales, January, February, March. We've had an increase in active listings. Correspondingly, we're so tight on new listings relative to sales that we're having, a contraction of the months of inventory, which is a key indicator we'll get back to. And of course, look at this ramp up in prices from December at $615. Now we're averaging $757 in March. So interesting though, February and March are similar. Perhaps we've seen the bulk of the price improvement this year, but I guess time will tell. Moving on. So this is the real kicker of a slide and very challenging for a lot of buyers, very exciting for a lot of sellers, but we've had a 12.5% increase in the average residential purchase price since a year ago, since last March. So $750 a year ago to buy a house, $850 this year to buy a house on average. Now think about that. How many people said, gosh, we're sitting on something, we should really wait out this madness? Well, those who have waited have now faced another $100,000 price increase. The condos are following a similar trend, a 9.6% increase in the average sale price of a condo in the last 12 months, now at $479. I mean, it's literally $500,000 to buy a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo in a new building in a central location at this point. Crazy stuff. Moving on, I mean, the key indicators and the key insight that we are always trying to share is, where is the market going? So obviously the overriding reality is we're in such a shortage of supply that we're basically seeing prices escalate as a result of a lack of inventory. Now, the government's intervening at this point. We're seeing some interest rate hikes. We have another one scheduled for about the middle of April, so we'll see what happens there. I expect we'll see another rate hike. We just introduced a 20% foreign buyer tax right across the province of Ontario. It used to be a 15% tax that applied to kind of the Golden Horseshoe, Toronto and the like. And here we are with a 20% tax that's just been implemented across Ontario to try and quell some of this crazy price appreciation, because the fear is that the average Canadian family can no longer afford to buy a house, and that's not the goal. So anyways, where is the market going? I would predict that those, government interventions will have an impact. I mean, that's what they're designed to do. Now, I am not expecting a bubble. I don't expect a massive reduction in prices. I am expecting perhaps a little bit of an easing and probably a stabilization in prices as opposed to this rapid price improvement. Now, that's crystal ball stuff. We'll see how it actually plays out. There's so many variables. I mean, the conflict, Russia, Ukraine, there's so many variables well beyond my analytical abilities, or for that sake, those of a computer. So time will tell. But this is interesting. We have an increase in the months of inventory, just a little tiny slight uptick in the months of inventory over last March, and a reduction in sales. So we've got an 11.5% reduction in sales over last March, and a 4% increase in active listings. So I don't know if that's a hint of where things are going. I'm also tracking the list price to the sell price week over week. And the overages, these bidding wars are getting a little bit smaller. And that's probably an indication of a few less offers. And I personally am working with buyers that are saying if we don't close within our current window of pre-approval, we have less money. So again, there's a few things on the horizon that'll probably slow this madness, but we are so far into a seller's market, I really am not predicting price decreases, etc. Let's see how accurate I am in another month or so, and we're here and happy to help and guide you through, because we're talking about the market, but really your home and your situation is a micro market, and that's really our specialty, is to understand a little micro target when we're working with an individual. So anyways, there's the month. Let's see what April brings.